So today, because we are already learning atomic structure and we are at a very crucial stage where we are just about to see how the structure of different elements is, or how the electronic configuration of different elements is, my suggestion is that we focus only on that. Okay. So today we will focus. In your exam, you won't get any questions. If by chance you get, just leave it. Don't worry about it. I am not giving any gold medal. Week after week, I am not giving gold medal to anyone. Okay. So this titration, redox titration, all kinds of titrations we will learn in the next week. Yeah. Today we will continue with atomic structure and then we will move on with atomic structure. So atomic structure. So I hope one, my voice is clear, and I hope two, you guys understand what is the thing. Yeah, what is black body radiation? Wow. You guys want to read the whole of physics in no class in Monday. Yeah. So this will not be there in the upcoming test. Yeah. Yeah. Screen is visible. Okay, good. So give me 1 minute and then we will start off with our work. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So let us start with our work. So we were doing atomic structure, and I just had told you, I just told you about the different quantum numbers, the 4 quantum numbers that we have. So I had told you about the 4 quantum numbers. Having heard about the 4 quantum numbers, next we want to see how the electronic configuration of different elements will be. So when we were looking at the yeah, so yeah, so let us now quickly revise the different quantum numbers first. Yeah, so there is this principal quantum number. Principal quantum number is 1. If the principal quantum number is 1, the L value is the azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number. And this azimuthal quantum number will take values from 0 to n minus 1. So n minus 1 is 0, so it is only 0. This is what we call as the S subshell. Okay, then you have 2. So n is equal to 2 means you have 0 and you have 1. So this is what is referred to as S, and this is what is called as P. Then when you have n is equal to 3, the L values are 0, 1 and 2. So when you have 0, it's called the S. When you have 1, it is called the P. When you have 2, it is called the D. Then if you go to the fourth shell, you will have 0, 1, 2, 3. This is called as the F. This is called as the D. This is called as P. And this is called as S. Okay. So this is what is the story of SPDF. Yeah. Further, I told you that the energy of any electron, ENERGY, energy of any electron is given by the N plus L rule. N plus L rule. Okay. So that means when you find out the energy, it is not enough just to take care of N. That is what Bohr said. Bohr said that energy is proportional to minus 13.6 N squared by Z squared. Okay. So Bohr, according to Bohr, I'm making a mistake. Fine. Okay. Minus 13.6 Z squared by N square. Okay, minus 13.6 Z squared by N squared. So according to Bohr, energy depended only on the value of N. Forget about the direct or inverse proportionality. But according to the quantum theory, it is not only dependent on N, it depends upon N plus L. Okay, it depends on N plus L. So the energy of 2s orbital is given by the number 2. The energy of the 2p orbital is given by the number 3. The energy of the 3s orbital is given by 3. Energy of 3p orbital is given by 4. Energy of 3d orbital is given by 5. 4s orbital is given by 4. 4p orbital is given by 5. 4d orbital is given by 6. 4f orbital is given by 7. Now, if you see this, there are a few orbitals which seem to be having the same energy. For example, 2p, then 3s, they seem to be having the same energy because this is also adding up to 3, this is also adding up to 3. Now, because this has a lower principal quantum number, this energy is assumed to be lesser than this. So 2p has lesser energy than 3s. Similarly, if you look, let's look at number 5. So here you have 3d, then you have 4p, 5s. All of them seem to be having the same energy. But if I have to arrange them in increasing order of energy, it will be 3d having lesser energy than 4p has lesser energy than 5s. Okay, yeah. So energy is given by the N plus L rule. N plus L. Now between 3d and between 4s, which will have lower energy? 4s adds up to 4. 3d adds up to 5. So 4s will have lower energy than 3d. Yeah, 4s will have lower energy than 3d. So by looking at the N plus L values, I can find out what there is a subtle difference between subshell and orbitals. Okay, I will explain that to you later. We don't need that right now. Sir, we completed 2 rules. I know, but still there are many people who have not understood it. Okay, so for their sake, I will explain. Yeah, so I hope this N plus L rule is understood. Now, the rule for filling up of electrons, this is what is known as Aufbau's principle, AUFBAU, Aufbau's principle, that when electrons fill orbitals, they fill lower energy orbitals first. Lower energy orbitals first. Or the different orbitals are filled in increasing order of energy. That means the lower objects are filled first, and then next one, and then next one, and then next one. So that subshell which has the minimum energy gets the first electron. That subshell, excuse me for a minute, I'll just drink some water. So that subshell which has the minimum energy gets the first electron. So in this context, I have, if n is equal to 1, I have only the S, I have S and P, I have S, P and D, I have S, P, D and F, I have S, P, D and F and G, and so on. So this is 0, this is N, and this is L. So 0, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So the first electron will come here. After that, the next electron will come here. Then the next electrons come here. Then they go here. Then they come here, because this will have 3 plus 1, 4. This is also 4, but because principal quantum number is less, the electrons will come here first. Then they will come here. Then here 3 plus 2 is 5. 4 plus 1 is also 5. This is also 5. But because principal quantum number is lowest, they will go there. They will go there. They will go there. Then they will come this way. They'll go this way. Then they'll go this way, this way, this way, and this so on. Yeah. Can you draw this diagram? This diagram is a very, 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 very important diagram. So I will do it again. So here horizontally, I have the L values. So L is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then here I have the N values. Okay, so N is equal to 1. Okay, N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have the s orbital. In the first one, I have only the s orbital. In the second one, I have the s orbital and the p orbital. In the third one, I have s, p, and d. In the fourth one, I have s, p, d, and f. In the fifth one, I have s, p, d, f, and g. Then I have s, p, d, f, g, and so on. We don't need them. S, P, D, F, G, and so on. So the first electrons come here. Now next ones will come here. The next ones will come here. Now the next ones will come here. Okay. Now the next ones will come here. 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 Okay, so this diagram is very, very important. Now, in the first here, how many electrons can be filled here? 2. So 2, because we set opposite spins, so there can be 2. Then in this, it will become 2 plus 6. So we will have so many elements. Here, we will have 2 plus 6 plus 10, because in the D, 10 elements, 10 electrons can come. So we are talking about 10 different elements. So here it will become 2 plus 6 plus 10 plus 14. So here also it will become 2 plus 6 plus 10 plus 14, because G is not filled. Yeah. So now when you go like this, so here we are talking about 2 elements. Here we are talking about 8 elements. Here we are talking about 16 elements. Here we are talking about 10, 20, 34 elements. Sorry, 32 elements. Here we are talking of 32 elements. So already we have spoken of 64, 64 plus 10, 74, 84 plus 6. 84 plus 6, already we have spoken of 90 elements. So there are only another 28 elements, which 2 will come here, then 6 will come here, 2, 6, and then 10 will come here. Already 18 are over. So by F, with the F, another whatever elements are there will go there. So the G will never really get used. Okay, so the G will never really get used. This diagram is as per the Aufbau's principle. So according to the Aufbau's principle, the subshell with the least energy gets the first electrons, or the subshells with lower energy are filled first. So once they are filled, then the rest of them are going to be filled. Okay, now let me check if there are any questions. By any question? This is not confusing. You have to think, my dear friends. You all have to think. Yeah. First you write this down. Then I will do questions. See, unlike your studies in the 10th standard where you had one book, you just read that one book and then you know what kind of questions you will get and everything. 11th is not like that. Especially if you want to become a doctor, everything is not written in a book and then you have to just follow. If everything was written in a book and you just have to follow, Google could do that work better than you and me. So we don't need doctors, we just need Google. Okay, so this is where we have to understand that the human brain is different. Okay, so if this is done, let me see if there are any other questions. Sir, n is equal to 6. We will also have, right. But we don't have so many elements. Yeah. I will show. From P, should we go to D? Okay. See, I'm explaining this concept again. Okay. So you have the azimuthal quantum numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. 0 stands for the S subshell, 1 stands for P, 2 stands for D, 3 stands for F, G, H, and so on. Now you have principal quantum number 1. That means you are talking about the K shell. So in the K shell, you have only the S subshell. You don't have any more subshells. Then you have n is equal to 2. In the L, you have the S subshell and you have the P subshell. So in the first, in n is equal to 1, you don't have a P subshell. Okay. So here you have S, you have P, you have D. Then here you have, this is n is equal to 2. This is n is equal to 3. This is n is equal to 4. So here you have S, P, D, and F. Then you have 5. You have S, P, D, F, and G. Then you have 6. You have S, P, D, F, G, and those of you who want it, you may put an H also. Now, according to the Aufbau's principle, please write it. Please write it 5 times. If I am telling 5 times, please write it 5 times. So only you will learn. According to Aufbau's principle, the first electrons go to those which have the least energy. Energy is given by the N plus L rule. Energy is given by the N plus L rule. So the first set of 2 electrons will come here. Okay, so hydrogen and helium both are only 1s is filled. Then the next 2, lithium and beryllium, both also only s is filled. Then the next 6, because P can accommodate 6. Okay, so the next 6 will come. After those 6 are filled, then you come to sodium, again S will come. Look at the drawing. The drawing is going, see, all these will, so then again it goes up and then it comes down. Then again it goes up and then comes down. Then again it goes up, so it will go to D, P, S. Then again it will go fill up F, fill up D, fill up P, fill up 7s. Then again come this way, go to 5F. Then it will go to 6D. Then it will go to 7P. Then it will go to 8S. and then again it will come this way. Okay, so this is how the electrons are filled. This is as per the Aufbau's principle. Okay, now suppose I take an element, let's say calcium. Calcium has totally 20 electrons. So the first two will come to 1s2. Here, the first two will come to here. Here. The next two will come here. The next 6 will come here. So for calcium, if I go, it is 1s2, 2s2, then 2p6. After 2p, where will it go? After 2p, it will go to 3s. So I will put 3s. Totally, it has 20. So 10 are over. So 2s2. After 3s2, where will the electrons go? After 3s2, they will go to 3p. They'll go to 3p. So 3p6. 3p6, then 4s. So 3p6, then 4s2. So now how many? This is 10. This is 10. So the electronic configuration for calcium is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, and 4s2. When you compare this with what Bohr said first shell 2, second shell 8, third shell maximum is 18, so 10 can go. But Bohr also said the ultimate shell cannot have more than 8, so it will come to 8 and then 2. So 2882 is what Bohr said. So here first shell 2, second shell 8 plus 6, 6 plus 2, 8, third shell 6 plus 2, 8, fourth shell 2. So this is as per what Bohr said. Okay, so this is how we are going to fill it up. So any number that I give you, you are going to go there and then you are going to try to fill it up. Yeah. Sir, after SP subshells are filled, then it will go to again S and it will fill D. Yes. If we draw n is equal to 8, we can use D subshell. We don't have so many elements. We have only 118 odd elements. So if you can discover more elements, you can fix it up. What does 1, 2, 3 and power denote? The number 1, 2, 3 denotes the principal quantum number, which shell, and then the 2, 3, 4 denotes how many electrons. How can P accommodate 6? Yalini, yesterday only we discussed, no? P has how many subshells? L value is how much for P? L value for P will be 2. So, sorry, 1. So, M value will be -1, 0, 1. We are not reading. Only if you read yesterday's notes, you will understand. Yes. So, can you explain how to write 1s2? Sir, even if we have 3D, we should use 4s. Yes, we should use, because it has less energy. 3D will have 5. 4s has only 4. So, we have to go to 3D, 4s and not 3D. Yeah. Yeah, I will explain. I'll keep repeating it. Don't worry. Let us move ahead and then come back again. Okay. So I have my targets for the class today. So don't worry. We will come back again here. Okay. Then once you understand this, now let's go back to the box system and then let's try to put in our boxes. So I was explaining to you yesterday that the L subshell, I mean, if n is equal to 1, is if n is equal to 1, L is equal to 0. This is the S subshell. So here I am denoting the S subshell by a box. In that box, I can have 2 electrons. Now, by Hund's rule, according to Hund, H-U-N-D, Hund's rule, no 2 electrons can have the same set of all 4 principal quantum, all 4 quantum numbers. Same set of all 4 quantum numbers. That means if n is equal to 0, L is equal to 0, then what is the value for m? M is also equal to 0, and I have 2 electrons like this. So this is half, this is also half. So n is equal to 0, L is equal to 0, sorry, n is equal to 1, L is equal to 0, m is equal to 0, S is equal to half, S is equal to half. What Hund said is, no two electrons can have the same address. No two electrons can have the same address, and the address consists of principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, magnetic quantum number, and spin quantum number. So if this is 1, this is 0, this is 0, this can have only one value plus half and another value minus half, so that the two addresses are different. Am I clear? According to Hund's rule, this is also known as Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. That means how many times can an address, or how many electrons can come into a particular orbital. Okay, so into a particular orbital, maximum there can be 2 electrons. Now the p shell consists of 3 orbitals. Then again the s shell consists of s consists of only 1, and accordingly he said. Okay. So if you understand this, show the diagram. I will show. I will write for palladium everything. Please have patience. Please have patience. All answers will be answered. All questions will be answered, though not immediately. Okay. So what Hund said is that suppose you have one s. So one s you will have one electron, one spin up, one spin down. So this is one s. Okay, that can be maximum 2 electrons. If you look at the p subshell, so this is the p subshell. P subshell has 3 paths. Okay, so here you can have 2 electrons, here you can have 2 electrons, here you can have 2 electrons. That is why there are 6 electrons in p subshell. This is the maximum number of electrons. Then in the d subshell, so this is -1, 0, +1. For the d subshell, the L value is 2. L value is 2 means it will be -2, -1, 0, then 1, and then 2. That means it will take values from -L through 0 to +L. Only integral values. So in the d shell, you have 2 electrons this way, 2 electrons this way, 2 this way, 2 this way, 2 this way. So maximum number of elements here, or maximum number of electrons, will be 10. So this is in S, this is in P, this is in D. Now the same logic, if you go to F. So if you go to F, so F is -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So you have so many. So here 2 electrons, 2 electrons, 2 electrons, 2, 2, 2, 2. So totally there will be 14 electrons. So in the S subshell, maximum 2 electrons, P subshell, maximum 6 electrons, D subshell, maximum 10 electrons, F subshell, maximum 14 electrons. Okay, is this clear? Yeah, P comes with a L value of 1. D comes with a L value of 2, F comes with a L value of 3, S comes with a L value of 0. So the possible M values here are only 0. Here -1, 0, +1. So 3. So it will be 3. Here it will be -2, -1, 0, 1 and 2, 5. So it will be 5. Yeah. Here it will be -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will be 7. Okay, so this is how it works. Yeah. So Yalini, I hope you are able to understand. Yes. Well, Hund's rule also states what I said yesterday. Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. Okay, Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. It states that electrons are distributed among the orbitals of a subshell in such a way as to give the maximum number of unpaired electrons with parallel spin. So that is complicated. I told you in simple words. Aufbau's principle, Hund's rule, and increasing energy. I told you. Then again, yeah. Then again, oh, there is one more rule that I'm missing out in between. Hund's rule, Aufbau's principle, and okay, fine. Let's see. Okay, so if it is clear now, let's go back to our job. Our job is now to try to fill and then predict what will be the electronic configurations. Okay, so now let's work with the electronic configuration of nitrogen. So nitrogen has a electronic the atomic number for nitrogen is 7. So 7 means this is 1s. In 1s there will be 2 opposite spins. Then 2s there will be opposite spins. Then again the next set of electrons will go to p. In p it can come this way and this way. Then in p it can come this way, it can come this way, or in p it can come this way and this way and so on, and it can come this way, this way, this way, this way. Yeah, so according to Hund's rule, this is the way it will come. That is, you give maximum number of unpaired electrons. You give maximum number of unpaired electrons. So they won't ask you in your exam what is Hund's rule. What you need to understand is that yeah, Hund said that pairing starts only after each subshell gets each orbital gets one electron only after that pairing starts. That is Hund's rule. That is also Hund's rule. Okay, pairing of electrons. Pairing of electrons starts after each orbital gets an electron. Pairing will not start till then. This is also Hund's rule. Okay, so you have Aufbau's principle. Aufbau's principle says that electrons get filled in increasing order of energy. Then you have Hund's rule, which says that pairing starts only after each has got one pair, and also the fact that no two electrons will have the same set of 4 quantum numbers. Okay, no two electrons will have the same set of all 4 quantum numbers. So now we can go ahead and try to fill some more cases and then see. Okay, so now somebody wanted it for palladium. Palladium means I don't know what is the atomic number for palladium, but let me try to fill up for something else. So for something else, if I have to go, let me go for chromium. Let me go for chromium. So chromium atomic number will be close to 24 or 25. Let me just check. I think chromium is 24. Okay, so I want to go for chromium. So let me first write down S, Sp, Spd, Spdf. Since it is 24, I'm confident. So 2 electrons here, 2 electrons here, 6 here, 2 here, 6 here, 2 here, and then they go. So here 2, 2, 6. Then again, this is 2, 6, 2, 6, 2. So how many are there? 2, 2, 4, 10, 20, 20. After 6, 4 will come here. Yeah, so 12 here, 12 here, then 8 here. 12 plus 8 is 20, 24. Okay, so this is what it shows. So now I just write it down. So it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, and 3d4. So this is the electronic configuration for chromium. Okay, make a note of this and then I will tell you something. Make a note of this. So if you want me to do it for palladium, palladium is like 46. So next I will do it for palladium. And this cannot be learned by me speaking. This can only be learned by you working in your notebooks. So for all those of you who are just listening to this and will later take a video, this will remain like a movie. Beyond that, there will be nothing happening. But if you start working on it, it will be easy. Yeah. Pauli's exclusion principle. So that's what I was telling. I was remembering one person whom I forgotten. Yeah, I'll rectify it now. Yes, Pauli's exclusion principle. I forgot Pauli. Yes. So yeah, I made a mistake there. So Pauli's principle, I'll rectify it. Yeah. Yes. Pauli, I will rectify Pauli. Don't worry. Bohr's rule is taken as a reference. No, Bohr's rule is not taken as a reference. There have been numerous advances in science. So based on those advances in science, so I made a mistake there. It is not Hund's rule. It is Pauli's rule. So I'll rectify that. Don't worry about it. So let's rewrite those 3 laws once again if you want to. But please understand how to fill chromium. Then we can move on. Please understand first how to fill for chromium and then we can move on. This is not complete. There is a rule beyond this also. There is a rule beyond this which says that half filled and fully filled orbitals are more stable than partially filled orbitals. So now what is going to happen is, because you see here 4s2 and d4, one electron will jump from here and it will make it 4s1, 3d5. Now 4s1 is exactly half filled, 3d5 is also exactly half filled. So this is going to be more stable than this. So the actual structure for chromium will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s1 and 3d5. 4s1 and 3d5. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Baba, please wait. Please wait. You guys have to wait and learn some patience. Without patience, I don't know. There are many still who don't know how to learn 4s1. I can keep moving on like this. Yeah, so we have to please have some patience. There are other students also. Yes. Yeah, Dinesh, I don't think this is the time for me to get distracted by trying to show you the slides from first. I'm sorry about it. Please learn to make notes. I'll be happier that way. Okay, so now let's come back. So I'm going to take up an element. Let's take 20. 20 is calcium. Okay, I want to write the electronic configuration. Write the electronic configuration. Write the electronic configuration for atomic number 20. So how do we go ahead with that? So first understand that these are the different n values, shell values possible. Okay, so this is n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, n is equal to 4, n is equal to 5. These are the different shells which are possible. Okay, now in the first shell there is only s orbit. Why? Because L is equal to 0. You have to learn this. There is nothing else. You can't keep asking again and again, sir, how are you writing s? How are you writing s? Okay, so in the first shell there is only one s. In the second shell there is s and p both. In the third shell there is s, p and d 3. In the fourth one there is s, p, d and f 4. So I hope you are able to understand this. Okay, now if you understand this, the first set of 2 electrons will go this here because it has least energy. Energy is given by the n plus L rule. Okay, so add the n value and L value. N value is 1, L value is 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1. There is nothing else which will have energy 1. So 2 electrons can go there. Why 2 electrons? Because the 2 electrons can have opposite spins or will have opposite spins. Who gave the rule for that? That is a part of Pauli's exclusion principle. I made a mistake. Pauli's exclusion principle. According to Pauli's exclusion principle, no 2 electrons can have the same set of all 4 quantum numbers. Okay, Hund's rule tells about pairing of electrons. So when will pairing take place? Pairing will take place only after each orbital gets an electron. Only after that pairing will take place. Till then pairing will not take place. Till then pairing will not take place means this is not possible. Okay, so only after each orbit gets it, it will pair. Then the fact that there should be plus half and minus half is coming from Pauli's exclusion principle, because if both are having like this, then they will have same set of all 4 quantum numbers. So it is not possible. That is why the electrons will have two different electrons will have 2 different spins. So that now all 4 sets of quantum numbers will be different. Okay, so now we were going back to calcium. So now the first set of electrons will come here. I drew this diagram. Please learn this diagram. This is how the electrons get filled up. Yeah, so please learn this diagram. This is how electrons get filled up. So I will have 1s2. 1 indicates principal quantum number. S indicates subshell. This indicates the number of electrons. So in the first shell, In the first shell, in the s subshell, there are 2 electrons. Then 2s2 in the second shell, in the s orbital, there are 2 electrons. Then 2p6 in the second shell, in the p orbital, there are 6 electrons. Then 3s2. So this I'm going clearly by this diagram. 1s, then 2s, then 2p, 2p, then 3s. Totally there are 20 electrons. 2 plus 2 plus 6 plus 2. 2 plus 2 is how much? 4 plus 6, 10. So 3s. So I have not yet finished. Yeah, 3s. Then after that they will go to 3p. So 3p can have maximum 6. After 3p it will come to 4s. So 4s2. So now I have filled 20 electrons. So the electronic configuration for calcium is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2. So this can be the electronic configuration for calcium. Okay, so this is how I am writing. You have to learn to write these diagrams. Only after you write these diagrams will you be able to learn. Otherwise, you won't be able to learn. Yeah. Yes. After 4s, we have 3d. Then how fourth shell is inside third shell? It doesn't mean the fourth shell is inside third shell. They have all complicated diagrams. They have all complicated graphs. So you have to, it is only the order of filling electrons. It doesn't mean that the fourth shell is inside the third shell. Okay, the p shell looks like this. Huh? So this is px, this is pz, this is py. Now this is the s subshell. So this is spherical. Now this part is there inside, na? So you are not to understand it that way. You have to understand that 3D is having more energy than 4s. So the electron will first come to 4s, only then it will think of going to 3D. Okay, it has nothing to do with the shape. These shapes don't mean anything. Yeah, these shapes don't mean anything. These are quite complicated things. We just have to find an answer for our questions. So our questions are, why does a substance react? Our questions are, what is it that governs the physical property, chemical property of an element? Why are certain elements more reactive? Why are certain elements less reactive? Why is it that nitrogen doesn't react? As long as we find answers for those questions, we're quite happy. Yeah, black body radiations we will learn later. So the number S denotes the number of electrons, sir. No, the number S denotes the subshell. Very clearly I have been telling you, Vijay, 6 times I have told that it denotes the subshell. So I told you in the first shell you will have S subshell, in the second shell you will have S and P. So I don't know still what is the problem. Number above S, yes, number above S denotes the number of electrons. Yeah, so in case of chromium, they have observed that, not only in case of chromium, they have observed that, please make a note, that half filled, exactly half filled shells and fully filled shells are more stable than partially filled shells. I can't understand why you write 1s2 first, but writing 2 near, I mean, I don't understand your question, Harish. I don't understand. I don't know where I have written 1s. So I have written 1s2. 2 stands for 2 electrons. That is on the top. On the top, I have written 2 electrons. That 2 I am saying 2 electrons here, 2 electrons here. So just by writing 2 doesn't mean anything. I have told you that this is n is equal to 2, this is n is equal to 1, this is n is equal to 3, n is equal to 4, n is equal to 5, and so on. Okay. Yeah, so for chromium, I am telling exactly half filled or fully filled are more stable. So if you have D4 and S2, D is partially filled. But if one electron jumps from S to D, then both are exactly half filled. So it is more stable. So one electron will jump. Sir, if there are 3p, 5d, 7f orbitals, the pairing of electrons will start in the p, d and f orbitals with entry of 4th, 6th and 8th electron. Yes. Then how did half filled and fully filled, then how did Ritika Shri, I don't understand your question. Pairing will start after the 4th, 6th and 8th electron, sure. Then further I am telling you that half filled orbitals are more stable. Exactly, half filled orbitals are more stable. So one electron goes from here and then goes from S and then goes to D. That's the context in which I am telling. I didn't answer your question. So can we do for another element with high atomic number? I will do. Sir, why there are no 3D in calcium? Because 3D is having lesser higher energy than 4s. 3D, 3 plus 2, 5, 4s is 4 plus 0, 4. So that is why. Yeah, calcium we have answered. Okay. If P, D and F are subshells and compartments are orbitals, yes, quite similar to that. Yeah, next class we will look at more examples. We have to, yeah, every element tends to become more stable. It ends now.